Picture a packed stadium, 70,000 people screaming the lyrics to a pop song.
Right.
Now picture a solitary philosopher in a dimly lit, 19th century study drafting a manuscript on the nature of existence. We are usually taught to treat these as completely parallel, non-intersecting universes.
Yeah, I mean, one operates strictly with academic credentials and the other, well, it just circulates on Spotify playlists.
Exactly. But what if that bridge between the stadium and the library is a deliberate architectural choice? Today, we're looking at a really fascinating book series by an author known as Mouse-Colored Cat. It takes Taylor Swift's hit, Anti-Hero, and pairs it directly with the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche.
I know, if you're listening to this, you might be rolling your eyes like Taylor Swift secretly reading Friedrich Nietzsche. Come on. But the source material goes much further, actually revealing nearly 200 of these philosophical parallels across her entire discography.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it forces the central question for our debate today. Are these deliberate, massive Easter eggs encoded by Swift, or are we simply using philosophy as an interpretive lens to read pop culture?
Well, I'll put my cards on the table right away. I argue these parallels are absolutely intentional. They are carefully encoded messages placed by the artist herself.
And I argue this is an ingenious retroactive interpretation. It's basically a literary experiment proving that intense human emotions naturally mirror universal philosophical themes.
I mean, the mechanics of intentionality here are just hard to ignore. Swift herself basically gave us the key in a 2022 interview. She said, quote, "When I was 15 and putting together my first album, I decided to encode the lyrics with hidden messages."
Sure, but
Just look at Anti-Hero alongside Nietzsche's concept of amor fati, right? The total acceptance of one's fate. She looks at the monster on the hill and completely accepts it without seeking any moral correction. That level of philosophical precision is just too exact to be an accident.
Too exact, or just a universal human experience? Look at how the author actually frames this work. The text explicitly states this project is an experiment.
Right.
it's a boring date seating high culture and pop culture at the same table. These parallels exist not because Swift was secretly highlighting passages of Thus Spoke Zarathustra on her tour bus, but because, well, a 3-minute pop song and an ancient library grapple with the exact same questions about identity and power.
I'd believe that if the connection weren't so structurally identical. I mean, Professor Malik Merriwell describes the lyric, "I'm the problem," as a Copernican hermeneutics of the self.
Hey, what? That is quite a mouthful.
I know, right? But basically, just like Copernicus proved the Earth revolves around the sun, Swift shifts the center of our psychological universe. We normally view our flaws through this endless cycle of practice and self-correction.
Right, what Merriwell calls the 10,000 iterations.
Exactly. But Swift, exactly like Nietzsche, makes the flaw the unchangeable center of the solar system. It's a structural feature, not a bug to be patched.
Okay, but is she really studying Nietzsche to arrive at that, or is she just exercising brilliant self-preservation?
What do you mean?
Well, Gaston Blunder points out you don't need a degree in 19th century philosophy to grasp strategic self-ownership. By preemptively singing the confession, saying it's me, hi.
Right, the famous chorus.
Yeah. The anti-hero completely disarms her critics. She avoids being shamed by signing the confession before anyone else can hand it to her. It makes her way harder to negotiate with. That is incredibly shrewd defensive psychology. But it's not necessarily a hidden thesis on the Übermensch.
Okay, I buy the defensive psychology, but I don't buy the coincidence. Not when the Philo Swift collection identifies almost 200 of these exact correspondences.
200 is a lot, sure.
We aren't just talking about a single song. Take Getaway Car. It's mapped directly to Machiavelli's ruthless pragmatism, specifically the idea of sacrificing temporary alliances for pure survival, or Heidegger's concept of time in All Too Well. At that massive scale, coincidence just collapses. The repetition implies deliberate design.
So you're completely ignoring the author's own admission in the afterword. The author calls this pairing an act of human capacitivism intended to disrupt AI's digital autophagy.
Digital autophagy?
Yeah.
Think of algorithm-driven machine learning as a snake eating its own tail. It's feeding endlessly on its own safe, average, predictable outputs. Linking Swift's red scarf to Heidegger's ontology is deliberate intellectual vandalism. The author is purposely overloading the system with unexpected cultural friction. The mastermind here belongs to the mouse-colored cat, not Taylor Swift.
Well, we may not agree on the architect behind this design, but one thing is absolutely certain. Once you catch a glimpse of something like this, you just can't ignore it anymore. Viewing anti-hero through the lens of Nietzsche's philosophy, you witness the complete transformation of self-loathing into self-authorship.
Completely agreed. You really will never listen to this song the same way again. The tension definitely remains over whether Swift is deliberately planting these philosophical theses as giant Easter eggs, or if the chaos of human emotion naturally mirrors great philosophy when articulated clearly.
Both possibilities are thrilling, and it's definitely worth exploring further. Whether it is a secret code or a natural convergence, it proves that deep complexity exists in places we are often told not to look for it.
Right.
So the next time you hear a stadium of 70,000 people screaming a pop chorus, remember, they might just be debating the nature of existence. And the stadium is just a very loud library.